Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California, I'm Karin.
I'm Ann.
I'm Kaity.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
Welcome, everybody. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. How's your end of June? It's almost July. Not quite.
Yeah, it's good. This is my coming up my anniversary weekend. We're hitting 17 years.
Nice.
There's a lot of weddings around. Like, this is the favorite weekend or month for
my
Kevin's
anniversary was this
married.
month.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So when you got married, I had been married for 17 years.
Aw, that's neat.
It's a cool little
I
number.
like
Fun
that.
fact. Means
Aw.
nothing, but it's fun.
Right, but it's still a coinkydink.
Coinkydink. Like, your name's Ann, and my middle name has Ann in it.
Right, so I was thinking about that recently because there was a Karin Ann death certificate I was reading on.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Last name redacted. And I was
Okay.
like, how do you spell your Ann?
Leann.
Oh, Leanne. That's right. Okay.
There is
But there's an E.
There's an E at the end with
Okay,
an E
so,
at the end.
So it's correct.
Wow.
I met somebody who said they named their their child's middle name was Anne as well. And she said spelled like yours. I'm like, so the correct way. She's like, everyone keeps telling me it's wrong. Like,
Those people are wrong.
Right. It's actually the French way.
So it's got to be
So
right.
it's the correct way.
See,
For what it's worth.
I have
Right,
no
right.
idea where my mother got the middle name from. And I
That's
only ever heard
pretty.
it when I was in trouble, which meant I heard it a lot.
Well, that's what
But-
my brain was doing. Is I think my brain knew the answer, but was unwilling to put it together because I'm like, I think her middle name might be Lee, but I think she says something about us having her middle name being similar.
You
to
should
mine.
put those two together.
Yeah. So it was bridging. It wasn't bridging, but it was
So-
there.
I have Apple Plus the for the movies and stuff, and I'm like, why am I paying for this? I'm not even watching it, so I'm trying to cancel. You cannot cancel unless you have, like, okay, you can go to billing subscriptions, but you have to go through iTunes.
Yep.
If you don't have iTunes, you have to download it. Why do I want to download this thing just to cancel something?
Yep.
And so that was
Yep.
on my phone, but I said, I'm going to try this again, and there's got to be a way. And I did not have to have iPhones because I
Okay.
did it on my laptop.
Because Kevin was convinced you have to have an Apple device to do. He wanted to change something in our Apple TV account.
I don't have this problem.
You do not. No. I'm like, I think
It's very easy for me to cancel.
I'm like, maybe I could do it at work. We have Macs at work, but
Yeah.
I think it signs into my boss's.
No, I just went to the website, but the thing was, they're like, oh, security, you have to answer these security questions. And I try to avoid those because I never remember what those questions are. And sometimes they're just random. So it wouldn't matter because I'd never answer them to begin with. But then I'm like, I got to make up new ones. And so
Someone gave me the tip that you answer them all the same.
Like the answer is
Whatever
chicken
the
sandwich
question
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
oh, that would be brilliant.
What's your mother's middle name?
And I was like, great.
You're right.
Great.
It doesn't really matter.
What street did you grow up on? What's your first teacher?
You know, what was your the first movie you ever went to? What was your childhood nickname? Which
Yeah, they don't have to be real answers. There's not a real person there.
no,
They called her chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
they did not. But the nickname that I had is still brought up trauma. So,
Oh.
but I'm like, it's okay because
Chicken
I'm
sandwich
canceling.
would be better.
Chicken sandwich would have been an improvement, please.
I'm doing lessons with the most amazing 8-year-old crocheter. You should all be jealous that you didn't get her. She's doing a great job. But she was telling me about, she's going to 3rd grade, and she was telling me about that she has a friend with lazy eyes, and sometimes one drifts this way, and sometimes the other one drifts the other way, and that they call her the gecko.
Oh no.
I was like, does she like
No,
that?
probably not.
This very sweet little girl says that she loves it.
Okay.
So maybe she does like it.
There's a member of my family, a very close member of my family with who has a lazy eye, and we are not allowed to make any sort of joke about it. Which was very difficult when I was a child, but you know.
You don't want to try the gecko out on this?
I could. They would not like it.
Disinherited.
That's just my brother.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to take a sec to talk about Magic Mind. You guys have heard us talk about them before, but they are back. They reached out and wanted to see if we wanted to work with them again, which we were very excited about because we liked working with them the first time. So Magic Mind is a mental performance shot. It's like a little green juice. And it's...
Yummy.
Yeah, it tastes real good. It's great to add into your daily routine. It's good for focus and reducing stress and more energy and all that good stuff. So we're big fans. It's all natural ingredients. So if you wanted to check out Magic Mind for yourself, I have a little coupon code for you. So if you go to magicmind.com/stringsunraveled and you enter the code stringsunraveled20 at checkout, that's STRINGSUNRAVELED. 20.
It's like you write your email address.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second. You can get up to 46% off your first subscription or 20% off of a one-time purchase with that particular code. So go check it out. We like Magic Mind. I have been using it for, I think this is like my third or fourth day in a row, and I do feel like I can tell a difference. So
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yep. Thank you, Magic Mind. Go check it out for yourself. Who wants to start with what they're working on?
I want to go last.
Karin, what are you working on?
I'm working on a cowl, and I'm almost to the end of the row, which is thankfully just a plain knit row.
Cool.
Once every 16 rows, I get to a plain knit row.
Oh boy, how do you stay engaged?
Well, that's surprisingly because there's yarn overs and decreases every row, but it's not really that many.
Great, but
So,
there's action. So it's actually one of those perfectly
and it has beads.
rhythm blend.
The first thing it does is has you string 469 beads.
Ooh.
And I took a few hours to do that one night because I was really excited. I'm using a gradient, a big giant cake of gradient yarn that goes from super lemon lime sherbet to a melon color. And I was like, well, okay, the lime doesn't look good next to my face, so I'm going to start with the other, thinking it was a top down. It was not.
That's like the time, but I was like, I'm going to get an easy sweater from Movie Knitting. Starts with the lace.
Yeah. Wait a
I'm going to
minute.
pick a different easy sweater. This one has the lace at the bottom. Bottom up. Starts with the lace.
What's the pattern?
It's called I Am Dragon Remix.
Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous.
So so they do look like dragon scales with beads, but if you're not careful, it looks like a field of boobs. You'll never not see it.
I only want to see that now. But the beads could be nipples, but there's so many beads.
It's a line of jewels.
I'm making another one. I'm going to make one that is shades of flesh with one bead.
Pink. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be easy enough to figure that out.
That looks great.
So the right side has all pearls, and so the stockinette part, it's like a reverse stockinette with this wonderful dragon scale shape, and starts at the bottom, and then what happens is it's just like a triangular shape, and then you will just sew the back, the narrow ends together, and it has a ginormous tassel. Let me show you. The designer did this as it's currently a knit along, but I started early. I think it just started last week, but I started 2 weeks ago. But see, this is how the front looks like and how the back.
Oh, interesting.
You would get more color if I hadn't printed this in black and white, but apparently that's my default now on my printer, and I got to change it when I want color. But so it says
big tassel.
and you can now. Her yarn is this. Plus, it's sparkly yarn.
Oh,
plus beads.
So shiny.
Yeah, and yours
glows. Instead of sparkles, it glows.
It's a collaboration with Knit Circus, but I'm being good and I'm using Stash.
Well, that's very pretty. What did
So
did you say the yarn?
I had not said it yet. It's let me pull the label out. It is a ginormous cake of fingering weight yarn, 555 yards. This colorway is called Slice of Summer from Teal Torch Knits.
What is it going to? Like what colors?
Oh, it starts with the lime, and then it's
Oh,
now
nice.
becoming lemon, and then
Has
it
this
becomes
been a different
orange.
project before?
So
I think she had
it
more than
was
one.
it was a shawl called
Uh-huh.
I Am Dragon, and this is the a remix where she changed the placement of the beads.
This yarn, though, that you're using.
Okay,
No,
that's
this
what I'm
yarn-
like, maybe I didn't
No,
understand
no,
your
no, no,
question.
no. I had a similar colorway
Oh,
for
got
something
it.
else. I bought 2 of these ginormous cakes and then only needed 1.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, look what I can do. And
Nice.
it's like this pastel neon.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of
gorgeous.
goes to like a tangerine color and then a little bit more of that pinky melon
Lovely.
Nice.
color. And then I already had the beads for the most part. I think I did buy a couple new colors, but most of the beads are they glide really well. You know, sometimes you get beads and they don't slide very well, but these are like the 6-0 and they're rounded beads and they're clear with, some of them are clear where you can't tell that some of these are actually peach colored. They're like a pinky peach.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have, one has a pink core and is clear, and the other ones have that iridescent rainbow on the outside.
Have you blocked things with beads before?
No, but you're gonna, how she tells to block this, you
I'm
do
curious.
not block the bejeebers out of it. In
Oh,
fact,
okay.
you squish it
Okay.
closer
Also,
to get more dragon scale.
maybe
texture.
don't do immersion blocking. One time I did immersion blocking on a shawl I knitted.
Anyway, bleh.
No, with beads in it, and some of the color came loose in the color of the beads.
Oh,
Huh.
interesting.
So I'm
I've
just careful
had
about that.
I have blocked stuff with beads before, but it's been a long time.
I'm trepidatious about immersion blocking, anything like that.
It will does definitely has weight and drape on it.
It
But-
could just
very
need it
pretty.
like a steam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that.
And she said if you steam it, she actually recommends wet blacking so you can squish it closer together to kind of get a little bit
Oh, just
more
test
raised
your beads,
texture.
though. Do you have extra beads?
Oh yeah,
Put them in a
lots
cup
more.
of water and see what happens.
That's a great idea.
I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that I had soothed my soul with that idea.
Wait, I had an
Wait,
idea
wait,
for
wait.
this.
That was wait. Tell us that pro tip again.
Why don't you test your beads in a cup of water? See what happens.
They make sure that it doesn't bleed in the same way that yarn can bleed. So I never thought about beads bleeding, but they can do that.
It was
That makes
disappointing.
sense. You're usually not intended to wash your beads, you know?
Yeah,
So
right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not usually a concern.
Cool.
So that's what's on my needles now.
Nice.
Nice.
That's the one thing you're carrying in your giant green bag.
Well, hold on. I do have another thing. I have a knit and a crochet. So I've got this lovely yarn from Moondrake Fibers, and it is so beautiful and squishy. It's a striped. One of our lovely crocheters recommended this, and this is called That Away.
Oh yeah, it's super cute. Yeah.
It is super cute. It's fingering, but feel this.
Nice.
It's
Ooh,
it's a
a
merino
single
linen
ply.
blend.
You
pretty.
can kind of see that. It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. It's like 90% superwash merino and 10% linen, and it doesn't show. And so I have this really pale green and this tonal charcoal that still has a little bit of a lighter gray at the core. And it's a shawl, another shawl that is done in sections where you'll do from small to large, just increasing on one end every other row, or maybe every row. And then you will join them, and you have a square shape that you'll pick up and fill in.
Nice.
So it's kind of a nice modular, project.
Cool.
Very pretty
but-
yarn.
Another thing with tassels, I must be in the tassel
Yeah, you
phase.
must be.
Tassels are big right now.
So the yarn, the yarn is Moondrake Company, and it's the first time I've had anything from her. I just really like it. This particular yarn is just, I wonder what it's. I don't know what the name is on it. It's just single ply. Oh, it's just called merino linen. That's what it is. And so the gray is called Shadow, and the other is just called Baby Green.
Aw,
Cool.
very celadon.
Mhm.
Like jade
Yeah.
feeling from
It's a very
that.
pretty color. Nice soft green.
What are you working on, Katie?
I am picking up a project I started last year, I think.
Oh, I'm like trying to place your yarn. And I think I have remembered where you got it, but it's your story to tell.
Oh, no, that's fine. This is the Tolsta tee, which I already made one of. This is my second one. This is the fingering weight version of the pattern. And the yarn I'm using is not a fingering weight, it's a sport weight, but I got gauge. And it is Forbidden Fibers. Where's my yarn label? Proverbs, I think is the name of the yarn. Yes, Proverbs.
Isn't that pretty
60% organic cotton and 40% linen. I bought it from the Yarn Over Truck.
I love that kind of screen.
Yeah, it's a pretty color for a like a cottony yarn. I feel like it's a nice deep hand dyed kind of tonal green. So that's what I'm working on.
The cake doesn't show as much tonal, but I like the subtle tonality in your knit.
When I picked it up this afternoon, I had already separated for the sleeves, and I actually already did the ribbing on the sleeves since it's a short sleeve, so the sleeves are done. So I just have to cruise down the body.
You're home free.
Yeah, so that is what I picked up to work on today because I finished something today. But the other thing I'm working on is a sweater that I started, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. But from the stash swap earlier this year, I picked up a bunch of skeins of knitted worsted. Is that what it is? Yes. So I'm doing like a fade cardigan. So I have, this is my first color.
Oh my gosh.
This is Felicia Cakes, I think is the color of the first one. I've got 3 of those. No. Yes, I've got 3 of those. And then it goes into this one, which is Unicorn.
It's
no,
really
this one
subtle.
is Funfetti. So the first one is like a cream color with like neon yellow, bright hot pink, and like a nice cyan kind of blue. Second one is similar, but then you add in like some oranges and some purples, and it's a little less neon. And then it goes into
Ooh, that's
this one
cool.
is Unicorn Giggles. So it's a little bit
giggle.
more, I don't know how you would, kind of like springy colors.
Yeah.
And then,
More solid, less white.
yes.
Yeah.
It's almost the same color palette, just less white.
Yep.
Ooh, and now more pink.
This is Unicorn Giggles. So these two are actually the same, supposedly.
Oh.
But that's why I'm fading.
Yeah.
And then the last one is something else. This one is called Unicorn something. And I apologize if you can hear like car sounds, but it is nicer to record with the door open, so that's what we're doing. I think actually now that I'm looking at it, oh wait, I missed one. I have 3 of the Unicorn Giggles, but I was like, there's another unicorn colorway in there somewhere. That's this one. Hold on, Unicorn Farts.
I was hoping one of them was called Unicorn Farts.
Yes, so it goes
I see a little number tag. So.
yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's gonna be my fade.
Goodness.
And I'm doing a really simple.
I love that idea of a speckle fade.
Yeah, and because I had enough for a sweater, but not like how am I going to use all these different colorways that I liked together. I don't know the name of this pattern off the top of my head because I don't remember it. But it's like your really basic top-down cardigan. It's I'm scrolling through to see if I can find my pattern, but I can't. So I'll look it up and it's called like the simple sweater or something. Like it's a really basic top-down raglan cardigan.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is what I work on at home. And those are my 2 projects. And what are you working on?
You guys are so well behaved.
I know, right? I actually feel like I wasn't this month, but I cast on 2 things that I didn't have any business doing, but I finished one of them, so.
Okay, I'm like, where's the other? Asked and will be answered.
Yes.
Yep. I guess I'll start with what's in my hands. Did you guys know that there's a new yarn shop in Santa Barbara?
I did not. I was just in Santa Barbara.
No, it's called The Knit Shop.
Oh.
And, funnily enough, the day before, I found out on Saturday, the day before one of my coworkers was teasing me. I'm like, oh, I could go out of the office and run that errand to Santa Barbara. He's like, there's no knit shops there. You wouldn't like it. Which I thought was, such a good, well-crafted personal affront.
Yes.
Thanks I felt seen. Thanks for seeing me.
You're like, you know what? You're right,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, but it still would have been nice to get out of the office.
Where is it?
It is, well, it's on State Street.
Uh-huh.
It's one block up from Anapamu, which I can't think of the name of the street.
The knit shop in Santa Barbara. Interesting.
Let's see. It's technically on State Street in this little, like, courtyard of shops. I think it was called the Victorian Courtyard or Victoria Courtyard. And if you know where the post office is on State Street,
Yes, I just walked by it the other day.
it's right, like, so it's faces like a little municipal parking
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So it's right behind the post office.
I was just there.
I'm so sorry.
I was just there. I was there a week ago.
Oh man.
I'm so glad that I haven't taken my machine in. I was going
There
to take
you
it in this
go.
week.
Yeah. So
Not that I
make a
have any
stop.
business buying more yarn before I move, but, whatever.
So she's got a great selection of fun things. She's got lots of Allegria, some good Cascade choices. She had Plucky Knitter. So I'm like, there's some good premium stuff there.
Nice.
And she had, she didn't have any other, I'm knitting on Cotton Fleece from Brown Sheep, which
I was
is
just going to say, I didn't even
a
know they still made that
company-
yarn.
I know. I love Brown Sheep. I've always like had a place for them in my heart. Because when you make a special order to Brown Sheep, you can order exactly the number.
That's
you don't
awesome.
have to buy 5 or 10 or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I
like,
did not know that.
If you're a yarn job owner, I mean, I don't know if this is still their policy, but it was. And I was checking out their wholesale website because I wondered what colors this comes in now.
Mm-hmm.
She had fun, like bright candy colors. But not a lot of the colors that I don't already have something going in. So I chose Prairie Lupine. I got 4 skeins of it.
It's such a great grape soda color.
Yeah, it's purple without being like too saccharine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you mixed grape and lilac together. That's the color you would get.
And then you got lupine.
Yeah. Oh, lupine. That's what I meant.
But I think that the way you described it is very good. Prairie lupine. I'm making a tank called Sabai or Sabai, Sabai.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in
The
the
finishing
top
on
20.
it is really lovely.
It is very fun. It's been in the top 20 on Ravelry for at least a week because I was recommending it to someone as of Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And then I think I recommended it maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's been sticking in my head that I wanted to make it. So when I found this, I guess it's technically worsted, but it's knitting up at like a DK.
Nice.
I was like, voila, this is perfect.
That's awesome.
Now, this yarn has gotten a little more expensive.
Yeah.
And I think she is selling it for pretty close to the current retail value, which is $22 a skein.
Yeah.
Which is a little more than I would have expected
Yeah.
to pay for cotton
I'm trying to
fleece,
see if I can
but
remember what it used to be, but it wasn't that.
I want to say 12 to 15.
I was going to say 12.
Yeah. So it was like a nice purchase without being a huge splurge. But premium yarns are getting to like $30 a
Yeah,
skein. So
definitely.
I think it's unfortunately pretty spot on for the marketplace.
Yeah.
4 skeins. I think I'm going to use all of them. I will be very delighted if I don't, only for the purpose that I think I want to make this in other colors in cotton fleece. So it'd be nice to know that it.
You only needed 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so comfortable.
I think it's going to be very fun. So you start with a ribbing. They say do the pattern, the whole sweater on the same size needle. There's a version that's just stockinette, and then there's this version with the ribbing details. So I started the ribbing I'm on a 6 on the main part, so I did the ribbing on a 4 because I just know I'm going to be happier with it that way.
It's going to look a little neater.
I might do because there's ribbing at the hem, I might stay on the 6 for that because I don't want it to squish in.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want it to flip up, so I'm going to play that part by ear. So you start in the round, you do your teeny bit of shoulder shaping, and then you break off and you make each the front and the back. So
Cute.
I'm halfway through the back, and then there's no underarm cast on, you just join them and
Go.
work in the round. So
Nice.
it's moving very swiftly and smoothly. I just started this on Tuesday. So
Nice.
just 2 days
2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So that's very fun. So as long as I'm engaged, I could see myself making many in different colors as I come by them. Then I've been working on my 2 adorable Gabriella. I think I talked about that last time.
Yep.
So I have that kind of saffron-y persimmon sort of color one. And I'm going to go back to the pattern, and I will own it if it's totally just my misreading. But I grabbed onto the wrong landmark for how far to do the raglan increases before you shift to doing increases way faster to curve under the underarm. And I started that later than I should have. So I thought I was 2 rounds away from ending the yoke of the sweater. And
you were not.
I have far exceeded what I should have done. So I picked up my other one that I'm making in... Is this Araucania?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a
Wasco cotton.
Yeah. Yes, in my Wasco cotton. I think this color is Huancaraya. It's a Y and a double L next to each other.
Whoa. That's a challenge.
The Y says E, then, and the double L says yeah.
Sure.
E.
Yeah.
Hey, look at it.
Still a weird combination of sounds.
I'm trying to find, where's the name?
It's in tiny printing.
Oh.
It's color 1026. If that helps at all.
Karaia.
Sure.
Juan Karaia.
Karaia. Okay, yeah, okay.
And I could be totally wrong, but it sounds
me too.
good.
Like, I could be really easy, like you just did. So anyway, I picked that back up, and I'm going to work the yoke carefully to the correct place.
Good idea.
So that I know how far to rip back the other one. Because 2 things happened when I discovered that. It was late at night, and I'm like too tired to comprehend this.
That's such a bummer.
And,
right?
Because although I'm going to have to do less forward knitting, it's still quite a ways back before it's at least 18 rows of the end of a yoke that I have to go back. Yeah, it's simple lace, though. It's just yarn over and knit 2 together. I'm not worried about that because this has already hopped off my needles a couple times mid-row, so I know it's not hard to fix that. But that is probably part of my concern. But first of all, it's how far do I have to go back? And still don't have the brain processing, which is why I'm just going to work forward on this one until I'm successful.
I screwed up on a project earlier this week that was like a pretty major screw up. And I was like, oh man, I did that totally wrong. I have to rip it all out. And James was like, I haven't heard you say that in a while. And I was like, no, I pretty properly screwed this one up. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
I mean, I like to share because it's reassuring.
Yes, it happens.
Our fellow yarny people.
Oh yeah, it happens to us.
I like to say we just make our mistakes a lot faster than other people.
Exactly. Okay.
What is that?
So then, I bet if you
look at those.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I know what this is.
You can figure it out. Okay, so I was saying it's wedding season in June for my husband's family. It seems like when someone in his family is going to get married, it's going to be in June. So I've been going to Sacramento. We have super close friends who live in Sacramento. Going to Sacramento with some decent regularity over the last 19 years. Every time we go, for most of the time, I Google yarn store in Sacramento.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. It'll be a quick detour. I'm a good girl. It's just quick. Never found anything. They have a huge sewing center with like every doodad for your sewing machine you can ever imagine. One time I was there and they had every Ginger style of scissor. I don't think they carry that anymore the last time I was there. But anyway, huge sewing center. No yarn stores.
I would think they would benefit from yarn being so
Sacramento.
close to Tahoe and snow.
Sure. Have you been
winter.
to Sacramento in the summer?
Well,
in the summer.
It was there in spring. It was cold.
Fair. It's like any place in California. It has all kinds of wildness. It gets very hot and very cold.
Yeah,
in Sacramento area. So we had a wedding, but the wedding wasn't until the afternoon, and we were far enough outside the rim of the family that we didn't have anything to do till the wedding. So I have shared that I am, obsessed in my pursuit of library cards.
Yes.
So I was going to be near the 3 counties at one time. So the last 3 library cards we were going to do on Saturday morning. And I noticed when I went to look where the Sacramento Central Library is, it's very close to Old Town Sac where they have the train museum. So when my son was 4, on his first weekend meeting the extended family of my husband and meeting his very best friend in Sacramento, we took him to the train museum. And Alexander had one of the like most historic tantrums of his childhood leaving the train museum because he lived and breathed trains and Thomas the Tank Engine at that age. And it had been a long day, a long weekend, and we just didn't have enough time for him to play in the play area. So, major meltdown. Historic. So I'm looking at the map and I say, Alexander, you want to go to the train museum when I go to the library? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Because he still loves trains.
I'm going to go play in that play area.
Well, so we did our library stops and then we go over to that area and we get to the train museum exactly as a docent is starting his tour, which was delightful. Mm-hmm. He had lots of juicy extra stories outside of the displays, which it's a really cool museum. And I'm not that into trains.
Yeah, I was going to say, how cool could a train museum be?
I know on the surface you're like, sure, Anne. But it's really cool. They work to maintain and restore all these historic engines that are built our state's history and connected California with the commerce of the nation. And it's just a very cool. And then the docent is really passionate about sharing the details. So we go through his tour and we look at everything. But time's starting to get kind of tight. I thought this whole thing was going to take maybe 2 hours. Because from where we were staying, we were only like half hour out of Sacramento. Getting a library card takes maybe 5 minutes, guys. So it's getting on in time, and I look at the clock, and I'm like, okay, well, the yarn store I did find is half an hour walk from here, so I'll walk, you finish the museum, and he went up and he played in the train museum for half hour, 40 minutes.
Did he cry when it was time to leave?
No, so he very proudly declared, I did not throw a tantrum when I left today, Mom. So I wasn't there to witness it. Yeah. So it turns out that there's a great yarn store in Sacramento that's been there for 50 years.
Oh, man.
It's called Rumpelstiltskin.
That's an incredible bag.
Isn't it great?
It's always...
So they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they have lots of fun shop stuff. And so I had to buy this tote bag that is just a natural canvas bag with an illustration of a sweating sheep in a sweater that says, it's always sweater weather in Sacramento, California, Rumpelstiltskin.
With a big sunshiny sun and a poor sweaty sheep.
Poor bub.
That's really funny.
Yes, that's funny. So I had to buy that.
It's a nice heavy-duty bag, too.
Yeah, and it's big and square. It's been there for 50 years.
I'm sorry.
But what I think I figured out, because I didn't look at the reviews until after I'd left, is that it changed ownership 6 years ago, which I think 2018 was the last time we took any time in Sacramento. And I had probably given up on searching this at this point. So it's a great store. Rumpelstiltskin. You can shop online. Cool. But I still didn't even really leave myself enough time once I got there. I had a nice walk. Pride was going on along the main Capitol Parkway, and I got to walk alongside Pride. And
that's cool.
Alexander drove over from the train museum, so even with his playtime, he got there about the same time I arrived at the...
But you weren't waiting.
No, but I got my steps in, too.
Good.
So because I did not leave myself a lot of time, I grabbed my go-to travel purchase, which is if they have Spin Cycle, buy a skein of Spin Cycle dyed and mobile, because that's a real nice treat that I wouldn't normally buy myself. But this time I bought 2 because they had this gorgeous yellow that goes into yellows and oranges, and then it'll go into like a pinks and oranges. Like it's called Sunset Strip.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty, pretty.
Which if you find out there, it's a discontinued color. So if you really love this color,
time to get it.
Have some. And then
it's like ketchup and mustard in a very good way.
Yeah. And then the turquoise is called Stone Town. And these two were sitting next to each other, and I was like, oh, strings and things.
Yeah.
It's our colors. So I grabbed those, and then I'm on the way home. I'm like, what am I going to do with 2?
Yeah.
What is there to do with 1 or 2? Because there's usually something to do with 1. So I was poking around at what people made on Ravelry, and I had always admired the Easy V, and whenever I got to help people work on their yoke on it, it just seemed such like a well-conceived yoke.
Yeah, it's a good pattern.
So I treated myself to 1 more color.
Nice.
And then they had this yarn that I could not decide what to do with when I saw it, but I'll show you guys a picture of the hank.
Whoa.
which is a big monster.
What is that?
It's
I
by
must feel
Galler
it.
Yarns.
It feels amazing.
Heather Prime Alpaca, 100% superfine alpaca, grown in the Andes, 13,000 feet above sea level,
What a
660 yards.
Wow.
That's
But
awesome.
It's like
Feel
the
it.
Miss Babs of...
Yeah, feel it knitted though.
Oh, it feels amazing. It's got this beautiful soft halo, but
Ooh,
not...
nice.
Yeah.
This is
And
just
that
like a little
color.
guy like I want
Yeah,
to
you
snuggle
just-
up
yeah,
with.
it's
It's
a
like a
little-
little
I know.
kitty cat.
I was petting it like a cat.
Oh, I don't like a little kitty cat.
I just want to pet it and take
So
it
I'm
home
making
with
an
me.
Easy V in this gorgeous dark green. They just call it hunter green, but it's like a heather with black and rich dark green.
It's a very rich green.
Yeah, I love it. And I had walked by and put the turquoise Stone Town and it next to each other, and I knew that they went. And if transitive property, if
Yeah.
they went, then all the others
Sure.
would go. So I very carefully shopped all their colors that they had pictures of on their website. Did screenshots, pasted them all together, and decided that this was what I liked best.
I love it.
It's very fun. This only took like Wednesday to Sunday of
Sweet.
last week. It's so fast. But then I paused because she's like, try on your yoke. And I'm like, I made a million sweaters from you. I just need to compare this to another sweater that I love the fit of. And I had to put my hands on my Alpine Bloom, and it's already at the right place. So
Nice.
now I can divide off for sleeves and
Love it.
body.
She's thinking.
Yeah, there's one more thing I'm working on. You guys probably saw my reel on Instagram, maybe.
I didn't because Instagram doesn't show me anything I ever want to see anymore. Yes, I did see these.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So Anna Beth is Knitworthy is the person who originated this idea. She's taking her connections results from the New York Times Connections game, and it's a 4-stitch repeat. And so she takes her results from the day and stitches them into her socks.
That's
Oh,
fun.
wow.
So as soon as I saw that, one of our knitters sent me the reel. As soon as I saw it, I was on Knit Picks ordering the colors. So I'm using Stroll in Daffodil, Peapod, Frost, and Duchess Heather. And the purple and the blue are not perfect matches for the game colors, but they are good contrast against each other. So this is 10 days that I've stitched in, and then I'm using charcoal heather or something like that as the toe and the heel and the cuff. So I need to pick it up and put the rest of my results
Every
in.
day's pattern is just a little different.
Well, it depends on how I did that day. So, like, here's a string of perfect days.
Ah.
And then when you get a mistake, you maybe had... Like, I haven't had any 3-color days in the sock yet, but I do have some 3-color days. So if you've played Connections, it's a game of matching 16 words in 4 different categories. And so when I'm done, I just take a screenshot so that I can come back and...
Oh, that's smart.
add it into the sock. I'm going to make socks until the yarn runs out or I lose interest.
Yeah, can you show like a example of a day's
Here's
results?
today.
Got it.
So the
Oh, I
most
see.
rows you can get out of a day is 7, which is using up all your chances and having gotten 3 correct before you use up all your chances. Oh wait, no, that's not. It's 7 is the number, because if you can't mess up on the last one because it's 50-50 chance on the last one. So those are very fun. I think I'll work on those later tonight and catch up on the next few days. I'm going to do an afterthought heel because I have like notes for an afterthought heel that you add even more short rows to. I don't remember how. I just remember it worked well.
Yeah.
And it fits because I have a really wide heel angle.
Mm-hmm.
It fits a wide heel angle really well.
Nice. Yeah, afterthought heels always like sound like a good idea, but they just don't fit that well. But
No.
I'm
But
excited
none of
to
the
see this.
heels fit me well, except that one from I taught like 5 or 6 different heels.
Your favorite heel. Your
Um,
favorite sock.
Well, my favorite sock is my favorite sock, but it's my favorite sock to knit. It actually does not fit me the best of all the things I've experimented with. Did you notice my toe, Karin?
I didn't see that far. I just saw the leg. Oh,
It's a square toe.
it's a square toe. It's so squishy and comfortable. having that little bit of texture.
Yeah.
I love a square toe.
I think it'll be nice for my big toes point up.
And I love how it's like you have 8 stitches on either side, and then boom, you got 32.
Yeah, I like that too. So I thought you'd be
Quick gratification.
amused to see me exercise.
Love
that
it.
feel. So then somebody in her comments is like, "I'm making a Wordle one."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "I want to make a Wordle one too." So I decided I'm going to do. You get 6 chances on Wordle, so I bought Daffodil Yellow again, Peapod again, a different gray, I think, and white. And I'm going to do like 6 rows per. And then like the ones I don't use up are just the white
Gotcha.
stripes.
That's a fun way to come up with a
It's
color work pattern.
fun, yeah. And it's very like interesting, like the kind of like I have that triangle thing happening, and she has one in her first sock that looks almost like a little alpaca.
Oh, fun.
It's very cute. So those are the things I'm working on.
Nice.
It'll probably be a whole nother crew next time. Not new finished things,
No,
but new things.
yeah, my motto right now, at least, is like, because I feel like, your knitting mojo like ebbs and flows.
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel very knitty right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just working on whatever's fun.
Yes.
And I don't care.
Good.
So if you're listening to this and you want to give me a hard time about, oh, didn't you already start something or another new project? I couldn't do that. You know what? I'm just knitting on the things that make me happy right now.
We'll show those people to where the knitting fleece sit.
Yes.
Which is like back in their cars.
Well, I'm working on things that can fit into my bag that I made.
Very
Because
nice.
I really liked, I've got one of those bog bags, and it came with some clear, with a clear, zippered bag that has a little gibbets of sorts. They're called bolts that go into the holes, which do actually fit in your cross.
Can you back
also.
up? What are you talking about? What bag?
Oh, I thought my bog bag.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There's that
So it's
thing
got holes like a crock.
Yep, and you can
Gotcha.
actually put gibbet charms in there. It fits.
That's a
But-
new term for me. I had not heard gibbets
Yep,
before.
all those little charms that people put in their Crocs is called a gibbet. I don't know where that came from, but
Branding.
I did get the things that you put in a bag or an accessory to fit into the holes of a bog bag or bog style bag
Or if you're carrying a tote bag on your
are called bolts. So I found a place that sells the clear, like sells them in different colors, but I like the clear ones. And then I got a bunch of clear cosmetic bags, like they're like $12.
Nice.
And it's kind of nice to have a clear bag. I'm like, oh, I can see that project. I can just grab that. And the original idea was I would just only take as much as could actually fit plugged into the holes, but yeah, whatever I could throw in, that's what fits.
I mean, that's how bags work.
Yeah. If they fit as much as you can fit into them.
Yeah.
Well, the idea was that there's limited holes that you can plug them into.
But not limited space in that
But
giant
not
bag.
limited space, no. So, yeah, so I'm making use of that.
Cool.
Very nice.
Well, what else have you finished? Anything else?
Yes, I started a sweater 2 weeks ago, and I wore it this week.
Uh-huh.
Let's see it.
This
Ooh.
is Joinery
Oh, yeah.
by Yumiko Alexander.
You were working on it during book club.
Yep.
Gorgeous. That's
Cool.
so pretty.
And when it was still like 95 at my house, it was really nice to just have like one of those camisoles that has a built-in bra underneath it and to wear 100% linen. It was so comfortable.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was actually very satisfying to sew the side seams and the shoulder seams and then wear it the next day.
Nice.
Fantastic.
I can't remember the last time I started something and finished it and was able to wear it in the same month.
That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you made it out of that gorgeous green, and then it has a contrast panel of taupe.
Kind of an oatmeal-y.
Oatmeal.
Not a warm oatmeal, more of the taupey oatmeal.
Sure.
I think I forgot what I don't have maybe I do. Hold on. Why?
I think
yes,
you
I do
shared-
in
oh, there
my
you
clear
go.
bag.
And you could see that from the top of your bag because
Yes.
it's clear.
Let me see what color this is. This is, of course, I only have the one label in there for the green, which is called Oasis. Oh, no. Oh, here it is.
And you shared that that's her yarn, right?
Yes.
The designer
So it's
yarn.
100% linen. Oh, look, I have a personal note from Yumiko.
Aw,
Thank you,
your name's
Karin.
spelled right.
Yeah.
Why my phones have never learned to spell you guys' names. It's so
Oh,
irritating
it
to
just
me.
says Ecru Natural.
There you go.
So, and that's, yeah. It's kind of nice, though, because it's a chain net construction. So, something about it, the way it doesn't hurt my hands. Sometimes when you're working with linen, it can be a little rough on the hands. This was not that way at all. And for having such a rich color, the green did not bleed at all. My dye water was pretty clear.
Wow.
Even because I thought, well, what about, how's this going to react on the ecru? Is it going to stay ecru or is it going to become a greeny ecru? But no, it stayed pretty clean. I would definitely make another one of these.
Awesome.
I like that the pattern gives you 3 different lengths to work by. And then she says, well, okay, you have different widths of neck that you can work with. You can decide how wide you want the neck. Do you want it, I want to make sure it goes comfortably over my head, but not so wide that it feels like it's falling off, because I have had sweaters that were a little too wide in the neck and then they're always falling off the shoulders.
Flash dance.
But not in a stylish way. But anyway, so
Can she dress herself way? Is
So-
it reversible then? You can wear it both ways? Did you just say that?
no,
Okay.
I did not say that. That would be, I probably could, but that might be a little weird, having the stripe in the back.
I don't
No.
know.
Let me see.
Just different.
Yeah. It looks like that's how you're wearing it. Because that netting in the back is pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it goes across the there's like a line of double yarn overed holes. And it's not done on 9s, so it was nice. What really I felt kept me engaged was I wasn't going across the whole width of the back. I was doing panels. And so I was only working on a limited number of stitches at a time and then attaching it as I went. And so before I knew it, I was done with the sweater.
Nice.
That's awesome. Cool.
And that is it for me.
All
Very
right.
good. What have you finished, Katie?
Uh,
You keep teasing us that you finished something today.
I finished my Santa? I don't know how you say it. Sanna cardigan.
Was
by-
that your yellow cardigan?
Yes,
Like-
by Rebecca Clow. I would show it to you, but it's currently on blocking boards in my office.
Okay, we'll go.
So you
look
could
at
go peek in it later if
Yeah.
you want. But the yarn is Tosh DK.
Such
This
a pretty
colorway is
color.
called Hello.
Perfect name
It's like
for that
lemon
yellow.
pie.
It's a very yellow. I did take a picture of it so I could show you that. But it's a short sleeve lace cardigan. There it is, looking like a rumply little mess.
I believe anyone who tells you that lace looks pretty before you block it is lying.
Yeah,
to
and then
you.
there it is on my blocking board
looks
so that
great.
you
Yeah.
could see it a little bit better. So I finished it this morning. I got it blocking, so who knows how long it'll take to dry, but we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, I finished that in 2.5 weeks, I think, and it was just a joy to make. It was very fun. That's the thing that I screwed up on,
Oh no.
because it's knit bottom up, so you cast on, you knit up to the armhole, and then you separate the fronts and the back.
Yes.
And so you do one front, and it's like a traditional like shaping where you bind off stitches and you decrease at the armhole, and then you get to the neckline and you decrease for the neckline, whatever. So you're doing this while you're doing that, while you're doing the pattern. Okay, great. I knitted one front, and then I was like, I bet I could get the other front done today during drop-in. So I worked on that. I finished the other front, and then I was like, wow, I really have to stretch this a lot to meet the length it's supposed to be, but I did it the same as the other front. Oh well. and then I knit the back, and then I went to look at it, and I was like, oh, I missed a whole lace repeat on one of the fronts.
Oh no.
So I had to rip it back, and it wasn't that much work.
I was afraid it was like a counting problem.
No, it was just
Thank
I
you.
didn't make one of the fronts long enough, so I had to rip out the front, re-knit the other second front. I also screwed up at some point on the back. I don't remember. I think I was going too fast because I really wanted to finish it,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'll figure it out. And I was concerned about my yardage But as you can see, I'm holding a very decent sized ball of yarn right here.
You have
You
like
won-
a hat's worth.
You
at
totally
least.
won yarn chicken.
Well, I probably should have knitted it on a size 7, but I wanted to conserve yarn, and I thought I could block the snot out of this, so I knitted it on a 6. I probably could have gotten away with the 7 and not had to stretch it as much, but
You didn't
whatever.
know that before,
I
though.
didn't know that at the time. But now I've got a chunk of bright yellow yarn left over. And this also came from the stash swap. So thank
Nice.
you, whoever donated 4 skeins of Tosh DK in this fun yellow color. Because it was like a weird amount. It was like 1,000 yards that it was like, well, what can be 1,000 yards? Because in my mind I was thinking like a pullover. But that's what it became. And it used less than what the pattern said. So
I've been thinking a lot about that sweater since you shared
it's
it.
very fun. And one of our other knitters also finished hers, and it's very cute.
Ooh, what color did she do?
It's like a kind of like a clay, pinky, rosy kind of color. It's very pretty,
That's supposed to be the color of millennials.
like a millennial pink.
Yeah.
This is a deeper color, but
Yeah.
it's very pretty.
Yeah. Like it's the pink that goes with the millennial gray.
Yeah. And I'm still trying to figure out buttons. I bought some plain wood buttons that will work just fine. But then I was like, oh, maybe I could do like covered buttons
Yeah.
and knit little pieces to cover the buttons.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it's my button covers that I have don't work with
They're
it. Like
too
the
fat,
yarn is too thick for that to work. So then my alternate was like, I'm going to take my ball of yarn to Super Buzzy and find a fabric that matches
Yes.
the color and make a fabric color button.
Yes.
I could not find a yellow that's this yellow, and I don't want it to be just slightly off.
Oh.
So I'm still looking. I might just use the wood buttons until I
Dang.
find something better. But
Because if you recall, that was my vote.
yes, which I was all on board for, but I can't figure out
Dang.
what
It is a
It
really
is.
specific yellow, though.
I was
It's
at
a
work.
good yellow, though.
And I was looking through all the Kona colors, and I was like, this yellow is definitely the match, but I didn't have the yarn with me. And then I actually brought the yarn to work, and I was like, oh, no, this is a totally different yellow.
That's a good point.
But
though,
I walk
because
around, and I'm like, that's the yellow, and I hold it up, and I'm like, that's not the yellow.
in my head, it was like recorded as a warmer shade of yellow. Like when I was thinking about your yellow sweater the last few weeks, I was like, oh, that buttery yellow
No.
sweater that
It's almost like the yellows that match it best are almost green.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not green.
Because I was thinking of the yellow in the wide striped Tula pink. That's almost like
Yes.
circus stripe.
Yeah.
The neon yellow in the mossy green.
Mhm.
That yellow's almost, but probably
Yeah.
still.
But I'll hold it
not.
up and be like, nope, that's not
Yeah,
the yellow.
wrong.
To me, it's a very cool lemony.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a pretty true yellow, but it
a
is not
very
warm
clean,
and it's
clear
not
yellow.
cool. It's just a yellow.
Yeah, it's
Like, what is it?
It's the yellow you would use in the print shop to do 4-color printing.
I think this is like happy face yellow.
yeah,
you know?
I think, but still not.
No, I know. It's still not perfect.
Smiley face.
Yeah.
But
But
it's lovely though.
I am very happy with my sweater.
But
And
I am shocked when I think about how many Konas that
Mhm.
there is no Kona.
365 different colors.
Yeah.
At least. But now I'm daydreaming. Like, I never knit 2 of things very often, but I want to make another one of these right away.
Wow.
And now I'm daydreaming about cotton fleece would be really nice because I want to make a
Yes.
cotton-ish one.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That would be perfect for that. So yeah, I'm finished with that. That was fun. I had a great time. And then I found this fabric at my other job that I needed to buy. So I made a little knitting bag.
I like resisted the urge to say, well, let's see that bag.
What is
earlier
this
when you were
bag?
shifting
No,
it.
this is my mushroom bag.
Oh my
Did you make that
gosh.
one?
Yes.
It's rather finished.
I love it.
So this is
oh, that's right.
It's like a border print fabric that's got a brown on the bottom and like all these little funny mushroom guys with little faces growing up out of it. And it makes me happy when we got this fabric in. I was like, well, I have to buy some of that. So I made a little drawstring bag and I was very happy with how this knitting bag turned out. So then I made another one, different fabric, but I had fun making it. So then I made this one, which is a Japanese print with these little cameras on it.
Cameras.
And same pattern, little
I like the
drawstring
handle.
bag.
I like the handle separate from the drawstring.
What pattern is this?
It is a pattern that I will look up because I have it saved somewhere on here and I will tell you in a second. Kato. Kato. I bought this pattern on Etsy. It's from Kandou Crafts, but that's Kandou Crafts. And the pattern is called Drawstring project bag. Very exciting.
It's a nice size project bag. You could definitely fit a sweater in there of a certain size.
Yeah, this one's holding my sheep camp that I haven't touched since last time we recorded.
Can you see
But
how it looks?
Yeah.
I was thinking about your sheep because I was thinking about like sheep camp would be a good thing
Mhm.
with one or two.
yes, like a spin cycle.
Yeah, but I have yarn in mind for a sheep camp already.
Right.
Not that one should only have one of something.
No, it's fun to make multiples of things. So I made 2 knitting bags.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
like that pattern.
I do too. I highly recommend. I made the largest of the 3 sizes available in the pattern. So if you're wondering, it would be easy to size it up, but I made the large size.
And that's a pretty... It's surprising in a bag that size how much you can put in there.
Yes, I can shove a lot of yarn into a knitting bag if I need to. So those are the things that I finished. And what did you finish?
Okay. Finally.
Yay!
Because ends don't have to be woven and nor
Nope.
does it have to be blocked. I have finished my Ilha.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, it's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Cute.
So I forget what this. It's Mondial, Mondial, gradient, which I tried to look up, and I don't know if they still make it because it was not easily Googleable.
Very pretty.
It's and I'm pretty sure this is a merino acrylic blend, but it's very woolly.
It's like a ballerina pink at the top. It's very pretty. I like the fade that it does.
Well, here's the part I'm uncertain about.
Mm.
So I did budget my fade colors so that it all just kind of got used up. And at the top of Ilha, you pick up and you knit around and then you bind off. And so I do
That's
have
good to
the
know.
teeny tiniest bit of ballerina pink.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, I'll use the burgundy that is the end of the...
I like the contrast at the
Do you
neck.
like it?
It was
I
one of
don't.
the first things I
see,
noticed.
I don't like it.
But
yeah,
if you
it's
don't look-
noticeable.
It looks to me.
Is it
I thought it was a provisional cast on.
Oh.
So it might just be too contrasty. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm making a second one because it's a class that we're doing in a month or so, maybe not even that long. Probably should look at the calendar.
I think it's August, so you've got at
Yeah.
least a month.
Yeah. So I'm making one in fingering weight because the pattern calls for fingering to sport. And it's 22 stitches to 4 inches, which I think is kind of a big gauge for fingering.
Depends on your yarn, but it can be. I was just looking at a pattern earlier that I'm daydreaming about that is knitted at that gauge.
So I'm playing with that. And I'm going to make it short sleeve. But immediately the first thing I did is not a rolled neckline. I cast on with ribbing and imitated the twisted rib of the sleeve cuff and bottom of sweater. The bottom of the sweater is 16 rounds of ribbing that you go for 4 and then you shift.
Uh-huh.
And it looks very cool.
That is cool.
So I just did the 4 rounds just to give a teeny tiny little neckline to the second one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have to go all the way to blocking it.
Yeah, you might need to see how it, like, if it rolls back on itself or,
And it's not
So I feel
likely
like
to bleed.
if it sat flat, it wouldn't bother me.
Right.
But because it's rolling forward and you see the
And you
pop
see
of pink,
that,
that's what makes me
exactly.
think it's like a provisional cast on. Like it looks unfinished or something. Yeah.
My idea would
I think
be
I don't know.
steam block
Yeah.
first because
Try it on.
wet block might, if it bleeds, then you're stuck with that color.
I don't think it's going to bleed, but that's always a good thing to be aware of.
Yeah.
I appreciate you pointing it out.
I'm looking
I
on.
didn't give up on my hands or anything,
Yeah.
which is
But-
not always.
No, I mean, but the ones that do bleed on your hands while you're working on it,
Don't trust them.
you already know
Yeah.
not to trust that.
Well, throw some of that dark purple color at the bottom in a cup of water and see if it bleeds.
Yeah. Earlier advice.
Yeah,
You
that's
see,
right.
see earlier advice.
I'm looking on Ravelry at the pattern, and this like short sleeve version of it in linen is very cute.
Yes.
I want to make that.
Oh,
I still want to make that pattern, but
You should. It's very fun.
in the the Dando fibers,
Yeah, because that
linen.
is like a heavy duty fingering.
this person used Sandus, S-A-N-D, and Sun. I don't know how you say that.
You're welcome to swatch with my leftovers and see if you like it.
I'm not going to
I
make
thought
this
you
right
meant-
now,
I
but
thought
thank you.
meant this linen that you're making a crocheted shawl.
Oh,
That would also be pretty.
yeah, kind of warm though. Whereas if you do
Well, that's a big bag.
Sounds of exertion. Okay. in this giant bag.
What, are you carrying a weighted blanket around with you everywhere?
That is what I am doing. This is 2 ounces, this little pink ball.
Mm-hmm.
So
Little.
in this bag, I have my completed crocheted granny stripe weighted blanket.
That is a huge bag full of blanket.
Yeah. And it really, like, is a struggle to get it back.
I was going to say, do you want help?
Can you, Katie, pull the bag off? I'll hold this.
Look how pretty that is.
Oh, holy guacamole.
heavy. Okay. Weighs just over 9 pounds.
Okay.
Which is actually, I think I've talked about before, is not the correct weight. for
Right,
me,
that's not a
but
very weighted blanket.
Still very
It's still
heavy.
very heavy and
Yeah,
comfortable.
anybody
No, no.
I do.
Karen's scared of my weighted blanket.
This is
It'll
a lot of
bury
blanket.
me.
Yeah.
It was going to
Oh,
bury
It
me.
is so
I really want to see you put it back in that bag, though.
It's an ordeal.
I just want to squish it with my hand,
Yes.
but not get buried by it. Oh, that is nice.
It's so soft.
oh,
So
and
when-
squeezable.
When we went on that wedding trip, I was working. There were 3 adults, so I was crocheting in the backseat of my own car, which was weird. But the backseat of my car is super comfy. I don't know why my children ever let me jam them in the backseat of Kevin's Prius, because my car is very comfortable. So, like, I would take a nap while we were on the road under what was done. I think I was about 2/3 done at that point. And then we stayed for 2 nights, and I had it finished as I went to sleep on the second night. And then I still needed to edge it, which I did yesterday. And I just did I did a row of single crochets and
Like
big shells,
Mhm.
which are just 2 half doubles and a double and a half double. 2 half
Nice.
doubles. But I did my granny stripes with half doubles because I wanted the height, but I wanted this to be the densest possible.
Yes.
ever. It is 4 colors of Bernat Blanky Thick, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 balls of light pink, 2 balls each of a orchid color, 2 balls of a plum color, and 4 balls of a color called, it's called something dumb, like Berry Brights or something.
Yeah, that is not the right color.
Does not speak to the flamingo orangey pink that's in it.
Nice. That's a
And
big old blanket.
Maybe the bonus episode then is the sounds of me jamming.
Yeah, the people will pay money to hear that. Which, speaking of, guys, you should check out our Patreon for $5 a month. You can get a bonus episode from us. And if you are currently a Patreon member, we are bumping down the cost of our Patreon just a little bit, so you're going to be saving money, which means that more of you should join, because then you get bonus stuff from us, and that would be awesome. Okay. Anything else you finished?
No.
That's 2 very sizable projects.
Yeah, and like things I've been plugging away at for the to the point where like one could lose the thread.
Yes.
The sleeves of my Ilha are done.
Woo.
The edging on a crocheted blanket is done.
Anne was Kitchener stitching her sleeves on,
I did.
as we spoke.
No, sorry, Katie.
What? Oh, sorry, grafted.
Thank you.
The
Off my soapbox now.
No, that's fine.
So everybody knows.
The sauna cardigan I made, one of our wonderful knitters was knitting it, and she was ahead of me, so I assumed I knew where the pattern was going.
Right.
And then she was like, "Oh, I'm working on my sleeve," which was separate. And I was like, "That's interesting. You make it separate?" And she was like, "Yeah, so the lace pattern points a certain direction.
Yeah.
And then you 3 needle bind off it onto the stitches that you pick up around the armhole."
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "That's smart. I don't want to do it that way."
So you picked up.
I just picked up stitches because I didn't care if my points went down my arm or up my arm. I was
Right.
like, who would know that I did the other way?
Right.
Um,
Okay, so I'm in that debate in my head on EZV.
uh-huh.
Because I'm so tempted to do the sleeves and graft them on, but the points of the chevrons will not point the right direction. But there's so many chevrons and it's a pretty busy pattern, I'm not sure it matters.
You might not even notice.
Right. And so for my own enjoyment, I will only be observing, well, I guess I observe the yoke. I'm looking down at what I would see at my own personal point of view. But I am exercising restraint in the sweater I haven't finished that I started in January, Missoni Accomplished,
Oh, yeah.
because I really think I should knit those sleeves in the same direction as the rest of the sweater because it's so graphic
Mm-hmm.
that I think it will not be like who cares, right? But it's just a point of unity that all
Right.
those points point in the same direction.
I don't think in Easy V you would ever notice.
Right. It's busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One, I don't do this very often, but I wasn't like, I enjoyed what I saw of people making Easy V.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at people's finished Easy Vs, I'm not like on Ravelry. In person, I was in love with all of them. I'm not like totally sold when you step back and look at it on people.
Mm.
But the more I looked, I found ones that I liked, and I tried to kind of emulate what I like about them. So obviously, I decided I would make it.
Gotcha.
There's one, though, where the person took the chevron pattern all the way down the body.
Ooh, I want to do that.
So good.
That's awesome.
Um,
It's such a fun pattern.
yeah.
I'm scrolling on their projects now to see if I can find it. Oh,
Did you find it?
no.
Oh, that one's good, though.
Yes.
That's pretty far
very
down.
similar.
I favorited it.
Yeah, I like that pattern. That's another one I would make another because I really like the way it turned out and I like how it fits on me.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, I'll just copy paste. I want another one. I mean,
Right, and that's
different colors.
That
but
was the thing I was like, I'm like, but I know I liked it on everyone.
yeah,
That's a sweater I want to make once I get settled.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to sit and
Well, you know what's interesting is it was a go-to when you're looking on Ravelry for things to do with this yarn because a fair number of people have used Spin Cycle, either the dyed in the wool, which is they sell it as sport. To me, it's always seemed as fingering. Today, I'm pushing the limits at 20 stitches to 4 inches. I can't believe I don't have any Ravelry windows open in my browser.
wow,
That's
surprising.
usually there's 5 or 6, and I was actually kind of expecting to open one on
And just see the one that we were
I'm
talking
looking
about.
for. I'm very bad about closing those windows usually.
That's funny.
Okay, the one I really liked was she did it out of Zauberball. Zauberball. This person's screen name is Kitten Tips.
Oh,
wow, that
Right?
is so pretty.
guys, look that up. It's so
I
cute.
love everything about that.
She did a solid in her yoke and cuffs and ribbing at the bottom, but it looks like she used 2 or 3 colors of Zauberball. I am very distracted by this sweater now. But what I was going to say is, like,
She's got lots of cute projects in her pattern page or in her Ravelry.
Not that many people used Spin Cycle for that sweater.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, or even a Spin Cycle like. So a lot of people just used pretty combinations of fingering, sport, or TK to get their combos, which I think might have been what was not appealing to me.
That could
There's
be.
a lot of pretty sweaters. It was just interesting that a lot of people just treated it as strictly fingering, main color, 3 contrast colors.
Yeah, I did. I think I doubled sock yarn for mine because my main color was like a solid DK.
Do you have pictures? Because I was trying to picture, and all I could think of was the sweater from the cover of the pattern.
I'm sure I do somewhere. It might take me a second to find, but
Karin, what's that? Oh, it's a tulle pen. Okay. Like, that pen's writing
Anne's
really beautifully.
distracted by a pen.
And it looks nice to hold, and that's a good brand. Yeah. They're affordable, but very pretty pens.
They are good pens.
Not the smoothest.
This one glides.
They are good. I said smoothest.
Oh, okay. My standard is not very high.
Well, you know, some of us obsess over the wrong thing.
I will obsess over Post-its, but
Oh, Post-its are good.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through my pictures to see where my Easy V is, but I'm trying to remember what length my hair was, which is a good way to know. Oh, I found it. That's mine.
Oh, your colors are great, but see, you have like a marl book.
It's because one of my colors,
dynamite.
2 of my colors were like relatively variegated.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives it a little something going on. Yeah,
you did good with yours.
thank you.
I think I don't love the ones that are like very stark.
Yeah.
Because I think part of the charm of the original is the like
The sort of faded
messiness,
looking.
which actually there's like that stark white stripe through my yellow. And that kind of bothers me on my own.
Mm,
But I don't think I'm going back.
that's a long way back.
But it was fun.
It is. It's a fun pattern.
It almost is sort of like coloring with yarn. Like, actually, now that I say that out loud, maybe I would be game to go back.
Oh, wow.
Weird feeling.
Look at you.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
We're going to have to talk about this. Anybody want to share anything that they're excited about, obsessed with?
I have someone on TikTok I started following because I'm a huge fan of Twilight Zone, right?
You're going to say
So
Twilight. I was like, huh?
We're gonna learn something new about Karin.
I love Twilight, but I was in high
Zone.
school during the time that it was
Twilight.
a thing.
Zone.
I understand.
Which was before my time, but I also loved it. There's a gal called the account is called Make That Magic. And she breaks down, like, she just started watching the Star Wars from the very first ones and her reaction and stuff. But I love the ones that she goes where she takes an episode of the Twilight Zone and she summarizes it as if it was like you're talking. Oh, one of my favorite episodes is called Night Caller, and it's this woman who is, she's in her home, she's in a wheelchair, she's just not very mobile, but she just is restless. She can't sleep. There's a really huge storm. And then her phone rings. And she's like, ugh. So she picks it up and there's no one on the line. It's just quiet and quiet and quiet. And so she hangs up and she calls the phone company the next morning. And they're like, well, there's a huge storm that knocked out power. We really didn't have service. And she does have a nurse or a caretaker that comes and, is like, you can tell she's just wants to get the paycheck and go. She doesn't have a lot of patience. And next night, the middle of the night, the phone rings again, and she's like, hello, who is this? And the guy's like, why didn't you come?
Oh.
And anyway, so the way she breaks it down is absolutely hysterical. The way she's like, she just gives you I cannot nearly do it as well.
Sorry about the motorcycles, guys.
Turns out when they send someone out there, turns out the power line had fallen and broken. It was not even attached to another power line. It had fallen on top of the grave of her husband.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But after that, because she was kind of lonely, after that, she picked up the phone and started just talking, hoping that he would be there on the line. It wasn't a husband. It was someone from her that she was supposed to marry, but she didn't. And something had happened and he died. And so she was able to rekindle beyond the grave.
So who is the person that do you follow?
It's called Make That Magic on TikTok. Or at Make That Magic. She might be on Instagram too, but I just follow her. I intentionally skipped over the ones that she does of all the Star Wars because I want to go back and listen to her reactions from like her first experiences. With Star Wars, but she does that a lot too. She does The Corpse Bride, which was really entertaining. She has one called The Best Disney Villains Defeat, and that's really fun. But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy her breakdown and summarizing of these shows and
cool.
And like, if that were happening today, how crazy that would be.
Yeah. So it's a little bit like Ruined?
Kind of like Ruined, yeah.
I got the name right.
Nice.
But yeah, Ruined, but like...
But just for the thing she's watching.
Exactly.
I like that.
Whatever she's watching at the time. Cool. Mine is an Instagram account, which is probably also on TikTok, but Omar Noak. Or Knock. I don't know exactly how you say his name, but it's at omar.nok. And he is traveling from Egypt to Japan without flying. And so, like, it's all the different countries that he's been going through and how he's traveling. And it's very fun to watch. And I have learned about countries that I never would have, looked up and been interested in going to. But do you know anything about Kazakhstan? I didn't. But it's a gorgeous country. So it's very fascinating to see, like, number one, how he gets from point A to point B. Number two, the, like, people he meets along the way. And then also the, like, sort of side quests he takes. And And sometimes it's just like, I looked on Google Maps and there was a lake, so I'm walking out into the desert till I find the lake, and I'm going to go and hang out here. And he'll let you know, like, this was probably a bad idea. This turned out great, you know.
Don't try this.
Yeah, don't do this thing that I did. But very fun to watch. And he's on like day 120 something. Like, he's been doing it for a while. I just started following maybe a month ago. Like Iran, I didn't know a whole lot about Iran. That was a beautiful country. And he's like making his way. He's Egyptian, so he's going from home to Japan, and is his final destination. So,
that's very cool.
He's very fun to watch. Whenever one pops up on my like following page, I always get very excited. And James is like watching it with me now because it's like interesting to see where he's going. So that is mine. Anne?
Well, real quick check in. How's Project Star Trek?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Love it.
We just started season 3. I think we watched the first 2 episodes of season 3 last night. We at least watched the first one. I think we watched 2 last night. They all blend together at some point. But no, we're having a great time. Oh, I'm very excited that Beverly's back.
Yeah. Oh, you made it through the Polanski.
I like Dr. Pulaski. Like, she grew on me because I hated her at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
She's a good doctor. She grew on me, but I was very excited to see Beverly back.
Yeah. Like, you found the hair in the hairbrush. Nuts.
Yeah.
You gave us hope, Star Trek writers, and then you dashed it.
Yep.
Okay. Watch the show if you don't know what that's about. And if you know, you know. I think I'm a little nail polish obsessed right now.
Oh, nice.
So this is like 2.
That's a pretty color.
Sally Hansen's Quick Dry has all these really fun sparklies. So this is their Galactic Purple. And then their hologram in like a white color. I don't know what it's called. And I layered 2 layers on top of each other, and they're very pretty.
That's very,
and there's
very
so many.
sparkly.
No, it's only for me to look at.
I'm like, you're saying
This is
purple,
for me.
but I'm not
Yeah.
seeing the
It's
purple from
but
this
it's
angle.
kind of subtle.
Yeah, it's very cute.
But I'm
I
gonna
like
have to switch back to dark nail polish because I jammed my
see
finger
that.
in the door. And the jelly nail polish that's the hot
It does
trend
not
is
cover.
just not doing it.
When I had my hospitalization incident with my fingernail, I had to wait for it to grow out because it was like a proper open wound on top of my fingernail before I could paint any of it.
You're wearing a fun color. So like, I can't tell if it's gray or if it's green. Like when it's
Yeah,
on your shirt, it looks green.
It's gray, I think, but yeah, it's kind of a
nice
weird
slate.
color. My thumbs aren't painted because one of them peeled off and then I peeled the other one off.
Because it should match.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
But it's gel. And this morning, this happened yesterday. This one started to peel off. And so I redid my thumbnails again this morning, but I didn't prep them properly. And so it just peeled off by the middle of the day again. So I'm trying to like make this last because I want to do like blue or something festive for next week. But
Nice.
I got to redo my thumbs again.
I'm trying to dig through my nail polish stash, but it's also fun to just buy one when you're at Target.
Yeah. $4 for a fun sparkly nail polish.
I have another friend who has recently gotten into nail polish, and since I decided that my ginormous collection of over 100 OPI was not going to go with me,
You can
nor
start
the case,
fresh.
But I gave her most of it plus all the nail art stuff. But I
Nice.
have a few colors in my trunk. You can just meet me out in the
I'll
parking
take a
lot.
look at what's in your trunk. Yeah, the prep and the finish are key
Yes.
for sure.
Especially with gel. It's
I
like
tried-
if you
sure,
want it to
yeah.
last, you got to do it right, which
Yeah.
I didn't. I was
I
in
finally
a hurry.
found a recipe that I'm happy with, which are the Orly products. So the Orly Bonder.
Yep.
And then whatever nail polish.
Yeah, their top
And
coat's
then
great.
Their top coat, dry and sucks.
I even have some OPI gel.
But yeah, I'm really happy with those 2 Orleys. If anyone ever wondered, because no matter what nail polish I used, without the Bonder, it chipped. No matter what they promised me.
I was a big fan when I was using regular nail polish of the Sally Hansen top coat in the red bottle. I don't remember
That
the name
one's
of it,
very
but that's a
good.
good one too.
But I think the Orly one is better. But I'm just newly using that one. Yeah, summertime's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It just feels different,
Yeah.
you know, for different reasons. It's
Yeah.
like I bought, like I dress a little bit differently in the summer, and I'm frustrated with my clothes right now because it's like, I don't know, like just nothing's quite right. And I was at Target today and I was like, oh, they have these t-shirts that I really like. I have in every color. And I was like, I should buy a shirt that's not black or gray or beige. So I bought a purple shirt this morning. Ooh. And I was like, am I going to wear it? We'll find out. But I'm trying something.
Maybe your knits are your spice, though.
Yes. I do knit in colors that I would not, like I wouldn't buy a bright yellow. Well, actually, that's a lie. I do have a bright yellow t-shirt.
Yellow,
I might buy it, but no, summer's weird. It's just either, like, why am I so into, like, excited about knitting now when it's 90 degrees outside?
To me, August is the best time to start a giant blanket. Like, I'm a little out of season for my giant blanket. That's too hot to put on my lap now.
You need to sit under, like, 60-degree air conditioning to wear that blanket.
Yeah. Which is great in a hotel room.
I'm just so happy that I bought a cooling blanket.
Yeah.
Because I still want something on me.
Uh-huh.
But it has just been... It just hasn't had a breeze. I mean, I'm happy this week was in the 80s and not in the 90s. But when I missed the fan that we had in our primary bedroom, I was dusting it about a year ago, and apparently after over 15 years it was loose, which tells me at any point it could have come down on us because it's over our bed. Because that was
load bearing dust, Karin.
It probably was, because it had been a while. Well, you can't just dust, or the dust bunnies come down and you don't want it on your bed. So no. I have to spread a sheet over to catch anything. But yeah, I was dusting it, and all of a sudden I was like, help, help, because we have really tall, standing on the bed, and we have really tall ceilings, and I could not hold it up because we had new mattresses that were super squishy.
Uh-oh.
So finally we flipped the mattress and moved it out of the way so that we could get a couple of ladders up, because you need one person on the ladder and the other person holding it up, just so we could get it down cleanly. But like, I miss not having I'm going to take the fan home tonight from here. That's a good idea. So that I can actually have something blow. It's just hard when there's not air moving. I don't sleep well that way. I'm obsessed with fans at night.
Yeah. Well, you guys were sharing your obsession list. I was scrolling through my Instagram saves and my Pinterest saves, and it's all nail polish. So I'm like,
there you go.
Just be honest.
That's indicative.
You're into nail polish right now, and that comes in fits and spurts, like everything I'm interested in.
Yes.
I'll be excited for 2 more months or something, and then the rest of the year it'll be naked nails.
I have that problem where I'm like excited about a thing, and I get the stuff to do the thing, and then I'm like, I'm done with this thing. I'm gonna throw it all away. I'm gonna give it all away. I don't want the stuff anymore. I'm never gonna do this again. Like, that was a fun experiment. I'm not gonna do it anymore. And then a year comes around, and I'm like, why did I get rid of all that crap? I liked that, but I was into like resin casting for a minute,
waiting to see all your other resin.
And I haven't done anything in like a year. But my friend was like, I think it would be fun to try that. And I was like, let me give you all of my stuff. I was like, please, I would be happy to get it out of my closet. But fun. A year from now, I'll be like, why did I give them all my resin stuff? I want to do something. Aww. Anyway,
start over, or ask her for it back.
Yes, I could do that. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to our episode this month. Make sure you check out our Patreon if you want more from us. We're going to go record our little bonus episode right now. And don't forget to check out Magic Mind. There's a link in the description of our podcast, or you can go to magicmind.com/stringsunraveled. And don't forget, our coupon code is stringsunraveled20. You can figure out how to spell it. I spelled it once, to get, to get a discount. And, I think that's it from us. Have a good July, and we will see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.